So, my game involves a story where the player, who I named Chrono, because I think, at least at first glance, he looked a lot like Chrono from Chrono Trigger. And the enemies are called, I named them Kumatora, just because in the narrative, the whole idea is Chrono and Kumatora were best friends. And Kumatora, I just said was an inventor, because that's a reference to Luca, who was the actual character she's based on, who's an inventor. And the whole premise is they were at the Guardia Millennial Fair, which is, again, this is heavily inspired by Chrono Trigger. So they're at the fair. Luca's about to show off an invention. It's a teleportation device, the teleporter. And then Chrono ends up being the guinea pig, you'd call it. And then, so during the experiment, something goes wrong. Chrono and Kumatora are both teleported to an unknown land they've never seen before. And Chrono ends up he's just trying to find his way out and get back home. And he hears about a portal that opened up in a building around this area, and he has to find his way through it by defeating enemies and using keys to unlock doors, stuff like that. And then along the way, he runs into Kumatora, his friend Kumatora, who has been corrupted and now leads the boss of enemies that strangely look like her. So at the end, Chrono defeats her, and then he goes back home in the portal. So the way I implemented that into gameplay was I mainly just had Chrono follow a linear path like this, just through a forest area. And then he runs into his first enemies, and I just defeat them with some quick sword slashes. They don't have much health, and they rarely attack me, so I made it like that. Camera, again, I went for an isometric view because of going inside the buildings. I'm actually able to see what's happening instead of it being on directly behind my player character. Again, and the outside light is natural. I baked it. And then, so the first of my game mechanics is pushing a crate into a switch. You can see right there, it spawns a key. Unfortunately, because the roof of this specific prefab is linked to this building, or this shed, I have to look at it through these little cracks. You can see, but you just push it straight like this. A key should have spawned. You can see it a little bit right there. So I pick it up by just, running into it, and it sticks to me. It was easier for me to program it just by it sticking to me instead of putting it on his hand or something. So, and then he follows again the linear path, and then that unlocks the door. And I took the roof off just so you're able to see the roof and see what's going on. Kill these enemies quickly. Oh, and he's floating on top of them. I'll get there when I discuss the problems I had. So just kill them. And then here's a simple block pushing puzzle. So I just push these out of the way, or try my best to. So like that. I have to make sure my sword doesn't push it back. Get in there. Jump. No. There we go. Okay. It's a little jank, but oh well. There it is, stuck to my arm, and I know the door is about here. Here is the boss. Just, again, ooh, defeat it with some sword slashes. It's like Link's spin attack for anyone who's played Zelda. Hopefully there's at least one of you in this room that's played Zelda. And then by defeating that boss enemy, this door automatically opened. And another mechanic, I guess you could call it, is because I originally had trouble with him going up the stairs, I programmed like an invisible cube for him, like a slope for him to walk up. And I guess come on, it's supposed to be able to get in here. Come on, there we go. And that's the end of my level. So I'd say overall I achieved what I originally had in mind for the narrative, because that giant blue circle, that's meant to be the portal. Chrono's meant to go back home after that. And what was left incomplete was mainly just like okay, well, I didn't implement the portal because, again, mainly due to time constraints, but also I didn't exactly know how to do that. What else was left incomplete? I guess mainly like the enemy AI could have been a little bit better, but I thought it was fine as it is, just because I didn't want them frantically attacking me and me dying all the time. I'm definitely most proud of the puzzles, the mechanics. I was so happy, like that feeling of seeing the key spawn above the switch and seeing it being picked up by the player, that felt so good once I got that to work. And I'm not sure what the issue was here, but the lights in the buildings were supposed to go dark when I went in them. But I'm guessing maybe because I took off the roof, the natural light is just going over it. And this project, it did help me get used to Unity. It helped me get used to the overall structure of it. I think overall, this was a successful project. I feel good about this. So, yeah.